guys, so me and my sunburnt face are here to talk about The Umbrella Academy today. The Umbrella Academy has recently become one of my all-time favorite series to watch. It's on Netflix right now, 2 seasons. Go watch them if you haven't watched the show. It's a great show. July 31st was when the 2nd season came out. I am so happy that I had July 30th, my birthday, and then July 31st, the day after, off, because then I got to binge the 2nd season of The Umbrella Academy. But yeah, go watch it. It's a great show. And not only that, if you're watching this video and you haven't seen The Umbrella Academy, maybe click off this video and come back and watch it later, because I will be including spoilers in this video. So yeah, go watch it and then come back, because then we can geek out about the series together. So now with all that out of the way, let's begin. On October 1st, 1989, 43 babies were born to 43 different women. None of these women had shown previous signs of pregnancy before birth. Sir Reginald Hargreaves adopted 7 of these children and trained them to become the Umbrella Academy. Oh yeah, and did I forget to mention that each child had a superpower? Number 1, Luther, has super strength. Number 2, Diego can curve the trajectory of things that he throws. Usually he's throwing knives. Number 3, Allison can alter reality by starting a sentence with, "I heard a rumor." Number 4, Klaus can communicate with the dead. Number 5, who just stayed as number 5, can time travel, and he can also do spatial jumps.
Hey, assholes.
Number 6, Ben can summon like tentacle creatures from a portal in his stomach. And number 7, Vanya, for all we know at the beginning of the series, is ordinary. Or so we thought. So yeah, all these children had superpowers. They were trained by Reginald Hargreaves, their adoptive father, to become the Umbrella Academy. And then at some point prior to the series, Ben died. Apparently that was like the catalyst for the Academy disbanding. So all the siblings just kind of split off and went to live their own lives. Luther was the only one who didn't leave the Academy. He was on the moon for 4 years because of a mission that his father sent him on. Diego's now a vigilante. Allison is a world-famous actress. Klaus has drug and alcohol problems, and he can communicate with Ben. And Vanya is a violinist who wrote a book about being the normal, ordinary member of the Umbrella Academy. Now, this book pissed her siblings off because it probably included, you know, obviously her feelings and her outlooks on being the ordinary member of the Umbrella Academy, but I assume that it, you know, divulged secrets and other things about the Academy that were, you know, private until she published them in her book. So her siblings are pissed off about the book, but you know what? I feel for Vanya, man. I really do feel for Vanya. Her childhood sucked, and I get that all these other children, I get that their childhood sucked too. But Vanya was isolated and exiled. She was the ordinary member of the Academy, and so Reginald didn't really give her as much attention as the other children, which sucks. And so I feel for Vanya, man. Like, I feel for her. Now, what about number 5? Well, okay, so number 5 ended up traveling too far in time. He had an argument with Reginald. Reginald said he wasn't ready to time travel. 5 was like, yeah, screw you, Dad, I'm out. Went and time traveled too far into the future and discovered that the world gets annihilated by an apocalypse. So yeah, 5 gets stuck in the future and he's living in the apocalypse, but eventually he gets recruited by the Commission. So the Commission is an organization that oversees and manages the time-space continuum. Anybody who poses a threat to the Commission or the time-space continuum, timelines, the Commission's jobs, anybody who poses a threat is assassinated by time-traveling assassins from the Commission. 5 worked as an assassin for the Commission for 5 years. They told him that after the 5 years were up, he could retire to a timeline of his choosing. He agreed, but instead of retiring, he ended up time-traveling to 2019, 8 days before the apocalypse, to try and stop it and to save his family, because when he was in the future, he saw Luther and Diego and Klaus and Allison. He saw all their bodies dead in the apocalypse. And I can't even imagine the kind of trauma that 5 went through seeing that, and just like how freaking hard on him it must have been. So I get that he's very standoffish and cynical, and he puts on this front because he doesn't want his siblings to get involved in his plans to try and stop the apocalypse. But I bet you anything, he's just nervous and scared that he's gonna lose them again, and so he doesn't want them to get involved in his plans because they might die. So I feel for Five as well. I feel for Five in that regard, and I feel for Vanya in the regard that she was isolated and exiled, and that's not cool and sucks. But yeah, when Five returns to 2019, he reverts to his 13-year-old self's appearance. So his consciousness is 58 years old, but his body is that of his 13-year-old self. So yeah, a lot of people think that he is a young man because he looks like a 13-year-old, when in reality, his consciousness is 58 years old. I have to say though, Aidan Gallagher does a fantastic job playing Five, and I can't. Like, Five is my favorite character besides Vanya and Klaus. I actually love all of the Hargreaves siblings because of their own different, like, quirks and personality traits and what have you, but Five will always be, like, my top favorite character just because of how amazingly Aidan Gallagher portrays the role. So, round of applause for Aidan. Good job, sir. You play the role damn well. So yeah, the first season basically focuses on Five returning from the future, the apocalypse, all of the Hargreaves siblings trying to work together within their dysfunctional family unit to try and stop the apocalypse and save the world. That's basically what the first season's about. And we don't know at first what causes the apocalypse. We don't know why it happens, but we eventually find out that it's not a what that causes the apocalypse, it's a who that causes it. It's Vanya.
Surprise, mother.
Vanya, who we all thought was ordinary, who we all thought had no powers, she turns out to probably be the most powerful one of them all. And she didn't know that she had powers because when they were children, Reginald got Allison to use her power to alter reality for Vanya, and so Allison used her power and said, I heard a rumor that you thought you were ordinary, and so Vanya, you know, didn't know that she had powers, and so it's, you know, it's sad, and it just makes me feel so much more for Vanya. And I know that Allison was being used by Reginald. She didn't want to do it, but I still feel for Vanya. I still do. I have a soft spot for Vanya, okay? Not only that, but Vanya ends up meeting this guy named Leonard Peabody, who we later find out is actually named Harold Jenkins. He was also born on October 1st, 1989, but through normal pregnancy. And he always wanted to be a member of the Umbrella Academy, but because there was nothing, you know, extraordinary about him, Reginald was like, yeah, no dude, no thanks. And so he held this resentment towards the Umbrella Academy. He wanted to get revenge. So he eventually finds Reginald's diary in the dumpster because, side note, Klaus found a jeweled box that it was in, and he tossed all the books and papers out of it because he wanted to pawn the box off for money for drugs and alcohol. So yeah, Leonard or Harold, whatever his name is, finds this diary, reads it, and it talks about Vanya's powers and all the things that Reginald wrote about her powers. And so this dude like manipulates Vanya and uses her to get revenge on the Umbrella Academy. And it's like, f you, dude. Like, no, like that's so messed up. Like, he led Vanya on to think that he loved her, like they were intimate together, and he just led her on. And I feel, again, oh my god, how many times I'm gonna say in this video, I feel so bad for Vanya. Screw that guy. Vanya eventually ends up killing Leonard, or Harold, whatever the hell his name is. She ends up killing him because she finds out his true intentions, and she kills him for using her. Before that, she almost kills Allison by slitting her throat after getting so emotionally angered and frustrated after Allison tells Vanya the truth about what happened when they were kids and what Reginald had Allison do to make Vanya think she was ordinary. And I get why Vanya is so upset because all these secrets are being kept from her, but I also commend Allison for telling the truth and for trying to be a better sister to Vanya. Like, that, you know, that took guts, and it almost got her killed, which sucks, but you know, at least now Vanya knows. So near the end of the first series, Vanya blasts the moon with her energy, and a bunch of meteors come down and they start triggering the apocalypse, and Five's like, oh god, what do we do? And then Five goes, I can use my time traveling ability, but I can take you all with me this time. So he takes all of his siblings with him, and they time travel, and they get out of there just before getting just totally annihilated by meteors because of the apocalypse. Then when they announced season 2, I was like, hell yes, I am so beyond freaking excited. Like, this is just, I'm way too excited for this right now. So in season 2, we find out that Five did take his siblings with them and they time traveled, but Five's time traveling left him and his siblings scattered throughout different years in Dallas, Texas in the 60s. So Five, for example, gets there in 1963. Klaus gets there in 1960. They're all scattered throughout different years in the 60s in Dallas. And Five finds out that because him and his siblings time traveled, it actually brought the apocalypse with them. So it's another, you know, rush to find all of his siblings and band together to stop this new oncoming apocalypse. At the end of the day, I haven't been this immersed in a show in a long time. The main reason at first why I clicked on the Umbrella Academy is I was like, oh my god, Ellen Page, I haven't seen her since like Juno and Whip It, like it's been a long time. And I'm like, hey, Ellen Page, haven't seen her in a while. So I clicked on it for that reason, and then as soon as I finished episode 1 of season 1, I binged the hell out of season 1. Season 2 came out, binged the hell out of season 2, and it is now one of my most favorite series of all time. I love this show so much, like so much to the point where it's safe to say that I'm obsessed. So obsessed to the point where I got the freaking Umbrella Academy tattoo on my arm the other day. But honestly, you guys, my mental health has been absolute shit lately, and having a show that I love so much that helps me escape from reality, if only for a little bit, it's very, very much appreciated. And just the characters, the plot, everything works so well together. And you know what, even if my mental health hadn't been in the ditch for a while, I would still recommend this show for anyone who just wants a nice escape from reality and to be entertained, because this show is really entertaining. It's just really great. I have nothing but good things to say about it. Some of my favorite scenes from the show include all of Five's fight scenes. Like, holy shit, like that fight between Five and Lila with the interrupters covering Bad Guy in the background, beyond perfection. Like, the music choices in the show are just great. Five dealing with paradox psychosis in season 2 was actually really funny to watch as well, especially when he yelled out in front of like a bunch of people in public, and Luther, he goes, "I'm the daddy here." Like, that quote just, it gets me every single time.
I'm the daddy here.
So there you go, you guys. That's my review slash discussion slash analysis, whatever you want to call it, for the Umbrella Academy. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a massive thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoy the videos. Click the little bell icon down below so you're not missing notifications for when I do upload. And if you haven't watched the Umbrella Academy, check it out on Netflix. Season 2 just came out on July 31st. Feel free to check it out. Keep being awesome, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers. Bye. Hey guys, really quickly dropping in at the end of the video, which I don't usually do because once I put the end card on, the video's over, but I just wanted to come on really quickly and make it clear that this was not a sponsored video, nor was it an ad. I'm just obsessed with this show, and I'm very passionate about it. I really wish it was a sponsored video, but it's sadly not. So anyways, thanks guys, just wanted to clarify. Bye!